Welcome everyone, it's Evelyn from Twin Flames 3344. I have a Divine Masculine Twin Flame read for you, and I'm going to get right into it. I did pull some cards from the KIPPER deck, as you can see in front of you, and it ended up telling a story. I was pulling cards 3 by 3. They were each explaining who each character was, and I kind of want to go through the whole deck with you on that because it told a whole story. But we also have this read for the Divine Masculine. I was doing the read, Don't Hold Back, and Surrender to the Fresh Start with a Higher Self is the title here. That was really coming up. It was all around impatience today, which was the center card for the Divine Masculine today, and challenged by keeping things to yourself instead of expressing, right? The need to know, the pretending not to see when you actually do see. Anything that you are not letting out is causing the impatience. So the SIRIAN Starseed deck is the main deck for the read, which I cut and dealt at 10:04, which is 10:04, message received. Don't hold back. Then the message, the read was done at 10:32, which is the Wheel of Fortune, and the 32 of the 6 of Wands, which is the Journeyman. And 32 is also 5 of Expansion. The major arcana were Alchemy, which is that Patience card. The Tower came up, Reason, which is the Emperor, Starseed, which is the Fool, and the High Priestess, or it's actually the Higher Self in this deck, which is like the High Priestess. And then after the read, the Hanging Man came up. We had 1 wand, 3 swords, so a lot of swords today, which is causing the impatience, right? Getting too much into your head about stuff. And then 2 pentacles. There were no cups in this read, and no court cards for the Divine Masculine. The only court card came up after the read. Well, they were there before and after the read, but none in the main part of the read. So before the read, the Page of Swords and the Knight of Pentacles came up, and after the read, the Knight of Swords. But no court cards in the main part of the read, except for the Emperor, who is the Reason or Major Arcana card. And the Higher Self, you can consider that as well. But the numbers and the code line here were all about adventure for the masculine. We had double 2s, double 6s, and double 7s in the read. 22 is the Fool, 66 is the Queen of Pentacles, and 77 is the Sovereign, the 9 of Pentacles. We also had 8, 9, 10 begin again. 132 came up, 26, which is the Page of Wands, the number 2 of the High Priestess, and then 78 also the 10 of Pentacles, and the code line number all about adventure, the only number that came up on the code line was number 7, which is the Chariot. Also, the challenge here is the 2 of Orbs, so that was very much the energy as well. That's the challenge for the masculine today. And again, this is a general read. If it doesn't resonate, don't force it to fit. If you'd like a private read, I am available for sessions right now. All my information is below, twinflames3344.com. and at gmail.com. And my CD is out there too, which is called Ashes, Twin Towers to Twin Flames. It's Evelyn Stainthorpe, and that's available on iTunes, Google Play, CD Baby, and Amazon. And it's piano and voice. It's my music. It's very much love songs. 7 of the songs on the CD I wrote on my journey regarding my twin. And so, you know, that's a great way to support me. They're only $1 for the song, and you actually get something for that $1. So all the information for my sessions is below. So meanwhile, back in the read here, regarding adventure, the code line was all about, again, for the Divine Masculine, the Sophia Show of Power, which is the Divine Feminine collective consciousness, and bridging that power after death to the nth degree, through the feminine within the masculine as the Chariot being the combination of the masculine and the feminine, and being in their knowing together on an adventure. ADHD was coming up as soon as I put some coding into the system. A THOTH was also coming up, which has to do with community and congregation, so coming together. And a couple different synagogues and things like that came up online. Jeshurun, which accepts multi-faith families, any gender, race, or sexual orientation. And they said that they were dedicated to the Torah, which is learning and tradition. Avodah is the prayer and spirituality, and the Gemulut, Hasudin, I'm not sure how it's pronounced. I'm probably saying it completely wrong. But anyway, that's acts of loving. So Adath Israel also came up, and Adath Shalom, which actually closed in 2007. But it was very much about the congregation or the community coming up. And I'm losing my voice here. So there's something about religion that needs to come up and be spoken. Also different words and letters were coming up. Multiple sites came up about, words with 7 letters or 8 letters or 9 letters, and then with these certain letters in the words. But the common letters that were coming up through all of these headers was E, S, and V. Also, the Library of the U.S. Courts of the 7th Circuit came up. As well as a heading, Alone with Jesus. It was someone talking about themselves being bedridden for 6 weeks. And then another heading came up, F-37777, the 7 C's, and that was YouTube. Also the update of Stereo Madness, the 7 C's, all coins from YouTube. And remember, coins is another spelling for Kohan. Also Star Trek, the list of Star Treks came up, which is funny because the Star Wars 9th movie is coming out. Deep Space 9 episodes about Star Trek from Wikipedia. And then chapter 11 also came up, Peace for the Land and Sea by Sonic Spyro Knights. And then also Sandaga Yoga by Anupa Maraksita, Chinese Buddhist. Yoga was coming up here. And then also the treatment for fingertip amputation in adults by the Palmer pocketing of the amputated part. So back to the code line, the Sophia energy of the Divine Feminine Collective Consciousness, their show of power on the 4D bridge, tying the feminine within the masculine, or the chariot energy, and then SEVA was coming up, which means and seek selfless service, or in other words, giving without expectation. And of course, that's very important on our journey, is not looking for an outcome, just doing what you love to do, what comes from your heart in service to others. So again, the Sophia show of power on the 4D bridge, tying the feminine within the masculine, or the chariot energy in ascension, to Siva or Seva, I'm not sure how it's pronounced, or in other words, giving without expecting anything, which is a knowing. Selfless service without expectation of outcome, result, or award. And it really has to do with giving from your heart, what's authentic to you. So you can't just give randomly, because if you give and it's not coming from your heart, then resentment will come in if you don't feel like you're getting anything for it, okay? But when it comes from your heart, because it's true to who you are, something you truly resonate with, then it becomes easy to do it because it's what you truly love to do. And it also benefits someone else. So we get into this read. I'm going to show you the Kipper deck first because it was pretty cool how it came out. So the first 3 cards from the Kipper deck for the masculine were coming up, the wealthy man with the false person, someone wearing a mask, and change going on. So this is one character, the wealthy man with a false mask and change, so he's changing. Then we had the main male come up with the toil and labor, working very hard with thoughts of a female. Okay, so they're showing 2 separate people unless the wealthy man's changing into the main male. And then we have the main female came out with the house and the imprisonment, feeling imprisoned, locked away at home. So you see how this was perfect. So then the story goes on, the despair in the courthouse and the bad health. So some kind of legal issues that the masculine energy is in despair about regarding bad health, whether it's of themselves or somebody else. Could be inheritance issues, and also could be ascension symptoms or lovesick. Then we had these 3 come out, which has to do with the community. So community was just coming up in the code line, and the coffin, which has to do with endings, like, closing a chapter of your life, and occupation. So it could be an occupation revolving around, could be funeral services as well, but it could be a community-related occupation or funeral-related occupation, but either way, there's some kind of ending regarding this. Something they may have served the masculine in the past may no longer be serving them now, or someone in that business passes away and then there is no business anymore. So then we go to the empty living room with distant horizons in the pathway, and you see how there's no characters in this bunch. And I love how this never happened quite like this before in this deck, but this is very much about the situations for the masculine, right? The empty house, whether it's selling a house or just empty nest syndrome, or all of a sudden somebody's ghosted, whatever it is, the empty living room, or now fixing it up to have something new come into their life. And here's the distant horizons, except there's no water in it. There's nowhere to anchor down. It's all up in the air, right? Soaring, there's a lot of air energy here, but there's no water, nothing emotional to ground or lock themselves into or stabilize them. And then going on the pathway, right? And there's no water in any of these pictures here. It's very dry. Yeah, not that I can see anyway. Maybe I'm missing the water in that one picture. But so then after all of that and the emptiness of the path, then comes up marriage and the gift and the lovers, which is beautiful together. Then comes this being honorable with a message of courtship here. And then we have expectation and unexpected income and concern. So somebody still has expectations, which came up in the code today. And then unexpected income comes in. But there's concern over here by this man. She's not looking his way, but he knows something. He knows what she's doing. And there's something about this income that's an issue. So then we have the official person and the mature man with the privileged lady. So this can be very much someone who's in the public eye, or an official like a judge or the police, who has a daughter who's of privilege because of their status in life. And maybe that older man is worried about any complications she might cause. And then this thief energy comes up with all the money energies, and the 777s came up in the coding today. So there's something about someone's background, or someone coming in and stealing from them, or just that energy. When someone has a lot, it draws in this kind of energy, right? And there's a lot of gold energy there. And then we end the story here with the mature woman and the two children or inner children of the masculine and the feminine, along with somebody's mother or somebody or an ex or anyone it could be, on a journey. This could be the masculine and his mother, and then the divine feminine comes in. And then there's a journey and then adjudication about a message of concern. So there's definitely some kind of settlements that need to be made as far as something legal or the legal systems, that things need to be settled. But there's definitely a love story there, as you can see. And we get right into the read with the Six of Wands starting. The Six of Wands reversed here, which is the journeyman. And then we have the Page of Swords, which is the Seeker of Flames in the SIRIAN Starseed deck, and the Nine of Cups. The Eight of Pentacles, and then the Knight of Pentacles as well, and then that Six of Flames on top. So the Six of Wands reversed under the radar, or bad news or failure, negative news or a message, a mouthy kid, or someone who's lying, spying, or unhappy and dissatisfied that the work is over. And Taurus, Aries, Libra reversed, and Leo were all coming up here. Not working or done overworking and aligning with desires, at a standstill, stubborn, refusing to move or work, or quiet, fired, laid off, or disabled, or no longer have to work, but guilted into it. No success or attention seeker only. The Empress juggling, performing, or balancing daily life with Leo, ego, taming the beast regarding children, fond memories, or soulmate and or twin. Could be a grandmother taking care of daughter and grandchildren, or juggling family and business, or the Divine Masculine going back and forth between Empress and Leo with children, or the Empress and taming their inner beast with kids or with their twin. Coming together to celebrate, socialize, the Emperor with the worst being over in the bliss state, but injustice of prisoner and anxiety issues, or the Divine Masculine being strong, or in dealing with Leo or ego when at the Emperor and Empresses for parties with kids, or mom with kids with Empress. And I'm losing my voice this whole time, so this is very stressful for the masculine. They're not speaking their truth. Or mom and kids with Empress, and the Divine Masculine is with the Emperor. So it could be one with the mother, one half of the family staying with the mother, the other with the father. All look good except the Justice reversed, or Divine Masculine Libra reversed, feeling trapped in the situation. Or the Emperor and the Empress have the worst is over with juggling, and injustice of Leo or Libra reversed, unhappy but being strong, with anxiety, prison, or in prison, or feeling trapped, prisoner twin or kids, or the masculine's hands are just tied regarding kids or twin. The devil is in the details, or the Capricorn twin with no affection or connection, hanging a shingle over surrender and needing to be love, and Capricorn and Gemini reversed were coming here. Or codependence of being without, sacrificing for the whole, which is starvation of self so others can feel good. Know your boundaries, express feelings of surrender and jealousies, insincerity, and refusal to give or receive love. If you give or sacrifice with resentment in your heart, you are not loving yourself first. Surrendering Peter Pan, Pinocchio 2, immaturity and lies only brought jealousy and insincere people in. Spying, mistrust, undercutting, only positive efforts or intentions. Having built codependent house of cards with no affection, addictions, no connection or intimacy, just lots of feelings expressed of giving up, jealousy, and insincerity, which is 1135, which is Justice and the Wounded Warrior, or Nine of Wands, also Mary Magdalene energy. So needy, jealous, pleasure-seeking, wanting to shine, to be the star, to heal, to have dreams come true, grounding and integrating an offer of love while bored, apathetic to judgment, final decision, announcements, or the wake-up call to action, and suffering in silence, or allowing those newly awakened to catch you when you fall. The apple that fell far from the tree. And there's double Aquarius here. Heart-to-heart conversations, and below that was express your love. Coming clean to close the distance gap. Awaken to how far out from the trunk of the tree you actually are. Holding on to the 3D life, refusing to wake up to another home in another world within this one. The instability with their world upside down, you need to move to bring the cycle to a close. Or a partner refusing to wake up and move, or end a marriage, or staying at a friend's or relative's house. No more circle of trust, trying to leave twins out of the equation, pretending they don't exist, when you know that you got a buzz seeing your twin and ran home to give that buzz to your partner to wake them up, and then visiting your twin at night for peace. Then Groundhog's Day all over again, wanting to have total control without faith. Ego, arrogance, and thinking your false humanness is really that powerful without your soul involved. So it's like your brain, but no soul. Barbie in a basket, twin in the outer realm, instability only getting worse and must do something about it now. Parenting comes up, but I wasn't specifically really getting parenting for kids. It had to do with parenting yourself or your partner or older parents perhaps, in addition to kids and the suffering that it causes, because you take on everyone else's responsibilities when it's not your job to do that. Underneath parenting is change, which is number 5, that expansion of the Hierophant energy. And the King of Swords feeling bad, thinking twice about his telepathic connection, praying dark birds will go away and leave you alone to go within for light, as the Hermit sheds light on your grieving process. In exile, abandoned out in the cold, the Knight of Wands finds a way out. The Jack-in-the-Box escapes the Matrix. The King of Swords with partner and Hermit comforting him in his grief, or the Divine Masculine wanting to help the Divine Feminine with their grief, praying for forgiveness and being wise and patient, using both intellect of the King of Swords and wise soul of the Hermit and prayer. Destitute, no money for flowers or plants, the King of Wands is out of here with a red dress with a very high slit. Or he's thinking of someone's legs, knees, ankles, or feet. He knows suddenly the foot that fits the glass slipper. The light shining through hits him, but not his partner, who's unable to see the light, no longer caught up in semantics. The 10, this is at 12:10, which is the Hangman and the turn for the better, the Wheel of Fortune. No longer being hung up in semantics, there's always a way out at 12:11, which is the Hangman and Justice. Awakened under the radar to jealousy and suffering, in need of heart-to-heart conversations with the Divine Feminine to end the cycle of parenting those who don't need to be parented. That you need to parent yourself and your actual children, and even your children need less parenting as they grow up. So it's about really seeing who are you parenting that you really shouldn't be parenting, that it's not your responsibility. In the recent past is the Seven of Swords reversed, coming clean about downloads, holding back money, new life, and an inability to conceive of this passion. The Knight of Wands rushing back passionately in the aftermath of healing and forgiveness, of failure and needing attention, and doing things under the radar. The Empress frustrated, can't conceive of knowing without knowing, shining their light and healing without their sunshine, or healing illness, overexposed, or kids are all over the place. The foundation is the Tower reversed, instability after the Tower came down, the moving, the ending the marriage, or staying at another's house, not working or done overworking and aligning with your own desires or projects. The King of Pentacles and the King of Swords, side by side. The King of Pentacles is willing, but the King of Swords is cold and stern, refusing to budge or warm up. Or the King of Pentacles is moving, and that in itself is taking away the King of Swords' business. The King of Swords standing firm about not overworking, now refusing to do that anymore. The central energy here is the alchemy reverse, that impatience, losing their temper, the inability to meld with others. Seeing synchronicities and options, which triggers the Divine Masculine, unhappy, dissatisfied, coming off arrogant at times, healing or forgiving Sovereign Child and the Queen of Wands reversed, he now choosing a new path, and the Page of Pentacles with him, or that's his opportunity to learn something new, or children both now on board with his choices in need of peace, and no peace with the Empress in the mountains, or someone who's needy under the radar, healing frustrations in her knowing and shining light, but unhappy without her sunshine, or only gets attention when she's sick or drained or under the weather. So she's always coming clean about risky behavior or detoxing or coming clean about something. The Queen of Wands reversed with a bad temper. Leo, Sagittarius, Scorpio, and Aquarius. Taurus, Aries here. The challenge being knowing and keeping it to yourself, or pretending not to know, to stay balanced mentally. Standing up to others, ideas, egos, or awakening. Stuck, broken on the warpath, coming clean with travel or move issues. The Queen of Wands reversed, whether she's the sovereign or sovereign is a child with her, choosing left with a new opportunity, alone, assistance, or the Queen of Wands reversed is drained, sick, or pissed that kids went with the Divine Masculine and forgave him. The Queen of Wands reversed is not putting it out there, or is no longer putting it out there, and it's more in a sexual way, like, showing their butt off all the time, things like that, letting people touch them, expressing feelings back and forth with the Knight of Swords, cracking the whip with the kids, biting their tongue, but no offer of love, or kids standing up to the Queen of Wands reversed, like which they've never done before. And this is 1238, which is the Hangman and the Queen of Cups. Expressing their feelings about expanding the family. And that was at 1239, the Hangman and the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Swords reversed and the Knight of Cups reversed, the Page of Swords reversed, and the Page of Wands upright. So this can be for children, or they can be actions and messages in combination with children as well. But coming up with expanding a family, possibly to 4 children in a marriage or contract, religion or establishment, or Taurus, post-war, choosing a new path, impatient or losing temper, with the King of Wands reversed, or the King of Wands reversed is losing their temper with his higher self, and or which is also his twin, and or kids, the Knight of Swords reversed and the Knight of Wands upright. Or Sagittarius is impatient in taking off. The Queen of Wands reversed under the radar, keeping a low profile, no sexual or attention-grabbing activity, expressing feelings, energy exchange, risky physical activities, verbal abuse, jealousy, spying, lying, acting out, or immature language, and inspired by, and needing to be inspired by commitment, Taurus, religion, or establishment, post-war, PTSD, and choosing another way of being other than impatient. Fallen angel, or always the King of Wands reversed, who's on the kids' butts, and the Knight of Swords verbally reacts, and the Knight of Wands takes off. So that has to do with the masculine losing his temper and the kids getting pissed and taking off, or how they react, or, verbally attacking back. Both kids sick of the Queen of Wands reversed and the King of Wands reversed, or he is the Knight of Swords reversed, verbally abusive, and the Queen of Wands reversed is the Knight of Wands, Sag, always taking off or going out on the prowl. Now, crowning the reed is the Emperor, upright, sharing what he's been keeping to himself and recovering from the war within, ending pain or betrayal or dealing with back pain, now surrendering to awakening and skedaddling out of there. The Queen of Swords reversed in great pain, clinging to the Knight of Swords reversed, both in near-death experience or Scorpio breaking them up or interfering, or both just dead tired, not talking to each other, not allowing the change, the transformation, the Emperor reasoning, impatient Sagittarius or female drinker or potion maker with an attitude no longer patient, or being a fallen angel, without peace, insecure and manipulative, after death or end of dysfunctional or misaligned family, or loss of family member, or large financial loss connected to the Knight of Swords reversed, holding their tongue or verbally abusive, or avoiding the truth in the aftermath of a jealous rage of the Knight of Cups reversed, of double Scorpio, Sagittarius, or Cancer, Gemini, or Virgo, at night stuck on the High Priestess twin, and no message or negative message about ego, ideas, or the awakening. In downturn, slowdown, or misfortune of the Hierophant old man with muscles, and inspired by the young, disconnect and no longer keeping quiet, the Taurus religious leader or establishment, their world upside down, drained, sick, without their sunshine, overexposed, shocking, post-war, of Taurus, Sagittarius, Queen of Wands reversed, who could also have Libra, Leo, Pisces, or Aries in their chart. Hierophant no longer quiet and surprising, now opening their mouth and surprising or shocking the Queen of Wands reversed, and that was 101. So magician, magician. Ending the war and choosing a new path. At 102, the Magician and the High Priestess. Soon for the masculine is the Starseed upright. A big bomb drops. The Ten of Cups happy family with bad news, a negative message from or about the past. The Ten of Cups family offering love to the broken one, coming clean about ego and their awakening. The warpath, the breakdown, issues with moving or travel, stuck holding on loosely to the Hermit reversed, who's over-isolating or with mental illness, so that could be a parent, or now is coming out about what they've learned going within. The Hermit reversed may be the Knight of Swords reversed, and the Chariot reversed may be the Knight of Wands upright, one broken outwardly and one inwardly, or one dealing with cancer and the other dealing with mental illnesses. The Virgo holding their tongue or verbally abusive, and the Cancer acts out physically by doing too much. The Divine Masculine is seeing himself as the Two of Pentacles. In this deck, the Two of Pentacles is very much about the surrendering to a fresh start. Walking away from the workplace with spoiled children or child, or with rejection, vulnerability, shyness, or fear of love. Post-war PTSD, surrendering the battle and walking away. Love yourself first, masculine, chemistry, worth waiting for, and calling in your soulmate. Around the masculine, or how he is seen, is the Seven of Pentacles, the Divine Feminine's heart, without affection, implementing a plan, with finances, time, and energy, inspired by Capricorn, or Capricorn season, from now through January, addictions and codependencies, ball and chain, all due to spending too much money, or the Page of Wands is all about the devil, plus money and no affection, right? They just want to make money. Seeking connection to ownership and spending of money. So this is the wound that's coming up. Slave labor. The masculine needs to clear blocks around inability to find a peaceful place. In marriage, commitments, contracts, establishment, religion, or a Taurus coming clean, or getting clean in a split, or that it's all a lie because they'll never change. They may promise it all the time, but the masculine finally conceding that they keep saying the same thing, but they will never change. Adventure comes up, and then even more so is new beginning and spiritual career. The King of Wands reversed, holding on to Cancer from the past, with a fresh new start, and the Taurus with Virgo in their chart coming clean in a split. At the gate, the woman talking to a man, or telling the man where to go and what to do, with scissors, magnet, and coin on the cement pillar above them. The injustice of a bad judge, or Libra reversed, her calling him a fairy, or her passive-aggressive and acting all sweet, but so manipulative. Not being so strict now about how to eat. Someone's pulling back on that. The higher self, or the high priestess, upright, and the Queen of Wands reversed, shocked that the masculine's choosing a new path, that he has had enough. The higher self, or the high priestess of the Knight of Cups reversed, and the Queen of Cups reversed, sitting back to back, getting over their grief, loss and regret, guilt and shame, away from the Queen of Wands reversed, away from injustice of being ordered around. Sagittarius is coming out really strong here to end the pain for good. So if you have Sagittarius in your chart, it's like making this big bang as we go out of Sag into Capricorn. So Sag is really coming out if you have that fire in your chart. The masculine really strong to end pain for good, to achieve the bliss state with high priestess or higher self, awakening at the workplace, or Trinity, to hold their tongue and communicate through 5D messages. The Queen of Pentacles expressing feelings and a lot of exchange of energy back and forth, dropping burdens, responsibilities, and confessing all. And that was at 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, jump. The Magician and the King of Wands. So we turn the page to the Magician and the Queen of Wands. Under the radar, a need for attention, feeling of failure in the aftermath of sudden events or an epiphany, surrendering to the Divine Feminine's open heart, coming clean with impatience or lack of patience, losing temper and challenged by keeping to self, not telling, knowing about a fresh new start with a big bomb being dropped, unable to find peace, the Emperor and his higher self ending pain for bliss and awakening to Trinity and holding his tongue using 5D messages. Or the Queen of Pentacles reversed is confessing to a bad temper and verbal abuse, or disabled and unable to work and dropping their responsibilities. Under the radar, coming clean or getting clean to get out of there. In the aftermath of sudden event or epiphany, explosion or loss of patience, the challenge being keeping to himself, or the need to know more, right? Even though they get information, they still keep wanting to know more before they'll make a move, not taking the risk. The Emperor surrenders to a fresh new start, though, now with his higher self, the Divine Feminine's heart open to find peace together, and the High Priestess in bliss of the awakened state, co-creating without using negative intent or reactive words, losing money, time, and energy expressing feelings and energy exchange, or arrows of love, and dropping all their burdens, responsibilities, and confessing to all. All right, so that was the read. I'm going to show you the cards, and we're at 35, so I can pull you some oracle cards as well. There you go with your Six of Flames, the underlying energy. The recent past is the Seven of Orbs or Swords. Then we have here, I can use my other hand, is the foundation here with the Tower. Okay. Then we have the alchemy in the middle there, like I told you, and the challenge of the Two of Swords or Two of Orbs. The other underlying energies up here, and then crowned by the Emperor, who's upright. Then crossing the bridge to what's coming up next is that brand new start, the full upright or the Starseed, with the big bomb coming in. And the masculine seeing himself is the Two crystals in surrender, and you see that we have the Nine of Wands surrender there too, confirming that. And then around the masculine, or how he's seen, is the Seven of Crystals, which in this deck is the E-Tower, which is the divine feminine's heart. And the Four of Crystals is the divine masculine's heart. The blocks he needs to clear right now has to do with not being able to find peace with the Six of Orbs or Swords, which is reversed in this read. Then we have, we end up here on the higher self with the Ten of Swords reversed above that, the Hangman awakened above that, the Three of Pentacles upright above that, and then the Knight of Swords reversed above that, ending up on the Ten of Pentacles, or excuse me, the Ten of Wands reversed, which is letting all of the burdens go. And look at the colors of the number deck as well, with the pink and the orange and the teal. The underlying energies were teal as well with yellow. Okay. All right, so let's see what comes out for the oracle decks. I already did the Kipper deck, so I'm not going to do that again. But I'm going to pull from the Good Tarot, see what comes up for you guys. Take a deep breath. There's definitely patience issues, and then my daughter was calling me about problems with insurance. Probably got the wrong insurance for the state that she's in, because some states don't take all the different companies, or depending where you live. It's very frustrating. I'm sure you guys all agree. It's very confusing. There's too many insurance companies. You can never understand everything that's going on all at once. So it's about just remembering to not react, and everything will work itself out. You know, just take a deep breath and just know it's all going to be fine. But our patience is definitely being tested today, especially when you're going out in holiday traffic, things like that. It's about just really learning to not lose it, to come back to your center point. All right, so for everyone watching, the best and highest good of all those concerned, what do we need to know? What do we need to learn? What is our advice here? Why do we have this read today? What is the main point of the read? What do we need to take away from it? All right, let's clear all negative energies across all dimensions of time, space, matter, and realities for the highest good of all this concern, and fill any empty spaces with beautiful divine love and diamond crystalline light. And so it is. All right, so the first card out, Messenger of Air, which is the Knight of Swords. In this deck, it's very light, though. It's very feathery in this deck. The Knight of Swords is the messenger of truth. It's also the knight in shining armor, but this is very feminine in this deck. And this is really, for me, is much more about the telepathic or soul communication between the twins. Because she doesn't look like she's making an effort to do anything, right? She just is, and she just has her message to bring. But this is always message of truth, so it's of truth, which is a positive thing. It's like you don't have to defend yourself because you know who you are. That's the message. Then we have the Star reversed, which has to do with wanting to shine your light, needing to heal. This card, she kind of looks a little bit arrogant as the Star here. So actually I'm thinking that it might be a good thing that this Star is reversed. So I don't know if it's depression. It certainly can be, loss of hope. But maybe somebody who had to fall off their high horse because they were coming off a little bit arrogant here. But it's definitely a feminine energy for that as well. And then we have the sun, the sunshine. Then we have full power of the sun, everything exposed. And then this is the last one up is the Three of Air, which is the Three of Swords, typically the heartbreak. But you see, there's two over here with their little crowns on. I don't know how clearly you can see there. And then there's one over, he's got a crown too, but he's red. He's got that cardinal color there. And you see they're different, right? Because she's an angel with wings, and this is a bird. But they know they're meant to be together. And these two are over here. It's interesting because it indicates the Three of Air and the three parties, the three birds, except there's actually a fourth person here. It's because the fourth is missing. So if you have a three-party situation, then there's one person in the situation who's missing their divine connection. And this is showing the twins how they're bridging the gaps of being so different. You know, you could relate it to being two humans who are of different species, different mind, different thoughts, different religions, different cultures, whatever it is. She is in her knowing, and this is the masculine energy of the cardinal, the leader, and the bird of thought, right, using their mind. But it is up right here. We have the Three of Air, and then the Messenger of Air. And the bottom of the deck is the Messenger of Earth reversed, which is that stubborn energy. So this is the card upright. You know, kind of could be a child with attitude as well. This is like the Knight of Pentacles. Moving forward. She doesn't give me the energy of the typical Knight of Pentacles, because she's got more attitude. The Knight of Pentacles is usually very grounded and very loyal servant, you know, type energy. And that's not what I'm getting from her. I'm getting from her a little bit more arrogance to her. Maybe it's just that she knows her worth. The colors are someone who's very grounded, but it's reversed. So coming ungrounded is the underlying energy is needing to ground, needing to know your worth more, and being solid and stable in your own knowing in yourself. Not of arrogance, but of confidence. But this is what's in lack right now, okay? So there's some kind of stubbornness in the underlying energy here. And then I want to show you the four cards that came out together with their colors. By the way, I just took my son to the mall, and there's the most beautiful violet dress in the window, in the sparkly dress window. It was literally Cinderella's dress with all the layers of the plume and the bust. It was beautiful. It was violet and like silver trim on it and that kind of thing. It was really pretty. And I'm getting that like from this color, the violet, like this color. So there needs some healing to be done. And this is the 5D messaging, right, with the Knight of Swords, the messenger of truth, right? The winged messenger of truth, very bird-like or angelic. With some loss of hope, there needs to be more communication in the 5D, and sunshine, right? Because we just got into a lot of cold weather. People aren't getting as much sun energy anymore, so they either need to do more meditation and connect, or go out in the sun more, in the sunshine, to get your dose of that, right? It's important, especially for the feminine energies. We just brought that up about winter and summer, that because men are fire, or the masculine energy is fire, they may gravitate towards the winter weather because it cools them off, whereas the feminine maybe gravitates more towards the summer because they tend to be cold and it warms them up. So here, the Three of Air is typically about separation and broken heart. But this is someone whose heart's broken, but their soulmate's right there on their wing, guiding them along. Everything's being exposed. It won't be long, is what I'm getting now. I want to pull one more card. Yeah, we're going to go to, we'll do Romance Angels today. I mean, excuse me, Journey of Love. So we'll go to the Journey of Love deck today. Just one more card for you guys. What is the final message for the Divine Masculine Twin Flames? What do they need to know today? What do they need to know? Take a deep breath. What is the final message for the read, please? What is our final message? Okay, this is it. Wow. The Lovers. 57. There's your message about the Three of Swords. The Lovers. It's very black and white. It's very simple. And it's funny because the next card that wants to come up, let me see if there's a number wants to come up. Hold on. That's it. The bottom of the deck is the Becoming, which is 34, which is the Eight of Wands back and forth, and that actually was below the bottom of the deck of the Good Tarot. The bottom of the deck was the Messenger of Earth, but the Eight of Fire was beneath that, which is 34. So the Becoming is the underlying energy there. And after the Lovers, and that definitely came out by itself, then these two also want to come out, and this is actually the back of the card, you see? Self-initiation, number 12, which is the Hanged Man. And then this card also, Eruption of Light. Okay, and this is like the Hieros Gamos. Once you hit the vortex, you come together. It's like, you know, shooting up into the atmosphere. 11 is the justice of it. So these three cards, I'll read you the Lovers. And this is the back of the deck. Like, this is the root, the stable foundation of the Lovers. In separation is learning to be sovereign in separation and confident in yourself without reacting and not getting impatient, right? And learning how to be at peace with every situation, and so that you can come into this eruption of light. All right, this is like the front and the back. And this is the middle ground, the 0 point. And take off, blast off, is what I'm getting. So let me read to you 57. All right, the Lovers. Yes, it's love. It drives you forward and pulls you back to your heart. It makes the mind mad with misunderstanding and breaks it open with enlightened compassion. It is love. Your yearning heart shall have it. Your destiny is to be the lover of the beloved. This oracle brings a message of love, love, love. It is finding you now. Be open to it in all its forms. Be the god and the goddess of love and paint the town red. Play in passionate embrace with life as your lover, and prepare to receive even more than what you believe you are capable of handling. Love is a magic word that holds the universe together. It's both an emotion and something ephemeral that lives like a fire's glow, or the pink light on the clouds after the sun has set. It's alive and yet indefinable. It causes the heart to beat more rapidly and feelings to show, and young people to write, to sing, dance, and become totally immersed in its hold. Love can beckon coyly or flaunt itself with wanton abandon, and love can live and grow seemingly forever or vanish in a fleeting moment when we least suspect. And in the twilight of our years, reflecting on the life we have lived, it is love which colors every turn and twist of our memory. And when we pass from this earthly plane, it will be love that will light our soul on its journey home. Okay, I guess that says it all, guys. Love. So drink your water, get your rest, get your joy, get your nature, and rise and be love, and just be your best. Rise and be love.